chicken gets fried, John Dory's gets battered, and Fear the Walking Dead gets buried. Welcome back, it's buried, we bury it, let's talk about it. Season 4, Episode 4, a lot of 4s in there. Could it get a 4 out of 10 potentially, but it's Flashback City. It seems to be the gimmick of this season, where we see a video camera plastered, boosted, in people's faces. Here you go, up on the stand. Talking of Strand, he's under the mic, isn't he? With Alicia and Luciana.
He is under the mic. It's showtime, and we go from
Eric Young.
We go from Nick's death to basically a documentary on Alicia, Luciana, and Strand. Like, come on, Nick's just died here, and they're getting some smelling bitch with a camera shoved in their face. Like, way to go and take us away from Nick's death. And also, like, I'm not against flashbacks, okay? I don't mind one person's particular story or one person's standpoint being told in a flashback, but they've literally told the whole story, the main story of Season 4, in a flashback here. Could you imagine if you already knew that, let's say, what happened between, like, Rick and the governor or Rick and Negan, the whole thing had already happened, and we were being told the story in flashbacks? How shit would that be, knowing that you're not living in the present time and that whatever's done's already been done? But they felt the need to tell the whole thing in flashbacks. I just do not get it.
Yeah, I thought it sucked.
You've got Madison in the flashbacks, but she's not there in present time. You've got Nick in the flashbacks, but he's dead. You've got, is it Maria? Laura's in the flashbacks, but she's not there. John Dory, it turns out John Dory finds out that's his wife. But I mean, I think showing one side of the story from a flashback is fair enough, but literally they're showing the entire group split into 3, and we're getting it in flashback form. It made no sense to me.
Yep, we do see Luciana put Nick down, zombified Nick, zombified Enos, whatever this guy's name is, he's put down. Strand puts a jacket over Nick's body. They load him in to the SWAT van, and as you said, we basically just get interviews here. Let's just wrap it up, right? Because I don't want to pretend this was great.
Are we going to go through each story?
Right, so let's just wrap up Luciana and Nick's, right? So they go out on a run, right? They open this book. We shouldn't open that page, brother, because one of the pages says, oh, there's crops this way. It's outside the 50-mile boundary. They come back, they tell Madison that's where they're going to go. That was a mistake, apparently. Right, then we've got...
Although we never know, they didn't show us what happened.
No, they
so
didn't.
we don't know what happened when they went 50 miles out. Did that somehow lead to the stadium getting overrun or getting taken over? We don't know.
I think it was more the gimmick that they stayed. But anyway, it doesn't really matter.
I mean, possibly. I mean, that could be true, but I mean, Nick, I think, was more focused on trying to find books for...
the library.
I was thinking more the girl, whose name just completely goes over my head right now.
Yep, forgettable.
Everyone else was looking for food. Let's wrap up Strand and the Mexican guy. I believe he's Mexican, or he looks Latino or something like that.
He's a gay Latino.
But anyway, this guy wants to get in I mean, we've got Strand here looking in the boot for supplies, and this guy wants to get in the back of Strand's boot. So, I mean, I don't know what we're doing here. Strand has a car, a vehicle. He got a month of supplies worth in this, if it's just the two of them. And at this point, Strand is considering just him taking off with the Latino guy. He says he didn't want to let him get close because then he would find out the real Strand. And he says, right, let's do it, me and you, month of supplies, let's leave the group. Mexican guy's like, nah, I can't do that. He leaves him, he goes back to the group. Strand follows, and Madison thinks that Strand has had a great day finding all this stuff. And the Mexican guy, again, his name, we'll call him Antonio, because it could be Antonio.
But no,
Antonio says that he...
Cole? That's not a very Mexican name.
Jesus Christ. Cole just goes along.
Cole, man!
And he says that, yeah, they found it that day. So he didn't spill the beans. He didn't tell Madison that, no, this was a secret stash that Strand had, tucked away, and he was essentially planning on leaving the group.
It's weird though, it's pretty much Strand saying, this Cole guy here, I fancied you, but I didn't want you to get to know the real me, because in case you were scared of me. That's pretty much what it is. That's pretty much what it is for Strand here. But yeah, he said, oh, I didn't tell anybody I was going to plan on taking all this stuff. But by the way, this stuff he brought back would have lasted him a month. With that guy, Cole, only lasts these people a day. Let's talk about Alicia and Laura, aka Naomi. Right. They go to an amusement park, which I actually think is a pretty unique location, But the fact it was done in a flashback, you just knew Alicia couldn't die.
Which takes you out of it.
And I also kind of knew that Laura wouldn't die. I did always kind of have a feeling that she would have died, but in a battle potentially between these vultures and themselves. But I mean, they find some supplies. Going down the slides, I thought it was a cool visual, but there were so many instances here where they just didn't need to get involved with the walkers. They could have walked around and up the slide, but instead they jump into the swimming pool with them. It's like, why would you do that?
The water slide scenes were cool, where they were like falling down, but again, Laura tries to do a runner. She tries to take off, tries to steal the fan. It's out of gas though, and eventually Alicia catches up with her. So Laura just doesn't seem to want to be part of this group. So in that case, why not let her go?
Yeah. I mean, come on, damn it. Because it needs to happen. But
then she gave the story about how she used to work in a hospital and she could tell the ones that weren't going to make it, but you had to try and save them anyway. And I guess they're trying to lead that into the whole stadium where they don't think they're going to make it, but they're going to try anyway. And she decides to go back with Alicia. They do find a lot of supplies, medical supplies, and inside the stadium they set up a infantry. And she starts like looking after the sick people. So that's it. I mean, that's pretty much.
You get Madison talking to the leader of the vultures, right? He's eating hot dogs. It's like, these people are outside your walls and you're just fucking letting it happen. This has to be the shittest. I'll actually go on a limb. I think this is the worst story arc I've ever seen in Walking Dead universe. You've got an antagonistic group.
Well, it didn't go off to a good start when he started riding that bike, did it?
No, really. No, what was that? No, like, you've got this group outside the walls just sitting there. Not even threatening them. It's like, we're just going to wait until you run out of supplies. But then it's like, if you're waiting till they use up all their supplies, then what are you really getting from them?
Exactly. Just the location, I guess, but...
He said the location's shit, it's unique. He doesn't really like it. So what are they actually waiting on? I know, I don't get it.
It could have just been to weaken all our groups.
It's perfect. Oh, join us. Join me and my brother in the bus. No, I'm not.
But no, I don't get, right? Can we not... Is it not possible that in The Walking Dead, in this like sort of apocalypse scene, that would we not get groups that would actually want to work together and try and get back to some form of civilization? Does every group need to be against each other? Like, I'm under no illusion. Yes, the bad people, yes, they would. I think bad people would like gravitate towards each other, and you would get bad groups of people, but surely you would get good groups of people as well.
Yeah, you would, but...
And I guess they do that in the war. I mean, I guess there has been some okay groups, like when Rick's group finds Alexandria, I guess they're okay. Then Alexandria, find the hilltop, and I guess they're okay. But you always seem to have an arsehole in there somewhere.
I know you do, but essentially they start the SWAT fine.
Although you could argue there's some arseholes in Rick's group, so...
Yeah, John Dory revealed he was a police officer, did nothing for me.
I thought he was going to talk about Rick Grimes or something, pull out a Rick story.
Or someone like...
Or Morgan could reference Rick,
or
but...
Shane or something.
All he did was reference some guy that had to take whiskey every day, and then...
Alcohol!
He had a bad experience, and a week later he was back on the whiskey. It's like, right, okay, what's that do? How's that advance the story? Why do we care?
Oh, because Morgan, he's like that. Okay, but anyway, they stop the SWAT fan, it's time to bury Nick, but then they hit something. Oh no, and it turns out it's a big... load it, stash of guns. That's what it is. Oh yeah! And then they're like, wait a minute, you brought us here so you could get your guns and you're going to go after those people. It's like, yep, Al, that's how the story ends. John wants no part of this, neither does Morgan. Al doesn't want it either, but she kind of wants to continue their story. Absolute cringe. I think this video camera stuff is pathetic. John, at the corner of his eye, he recognises Naomi's backpack. He's like, what? We then see in a flashback that she has a twin Colt, what do you call that? Colt Magnum, I believe, yep.
Yeah, I guess she gave a fake name because her name is actually Laura, his wife. That's the big reveal.
But no, I don't get, like, why did she leave him? Or, like, what group were they in? Was it ever explained? Did John do it well?
Not really, no.
No, so, again, it's like, if they love each other and care about each other so much, how did they even get split up like this?
Is that why she's trying to escape? Is that why she's trying to leave? Why not just say, look, my husband's out there and I want to go and try and find him?
Yeah, no one's going to judge you for that. Right, but essentially...
Yeah, the group would probably help.
No, but he finds out, right, that Naomi's dead. I don't think she is dead, by the way. I think they've just seen her maybe get, like, be involved and, like, overrun.
You know what?
Because, like, her and Madison are probably going to be together. That's my prediction.
I think it would be a waste not to have them reunite.
Yep.
They both made it this far. You may as well have her.
Within 3 seconds of John finding out that she's dead, Strand's like, well, my brother, that means you got a common enemy with... And then it's like, fuck up, Strand. Give a guy a bit of compassion.
Maybe this guy, you know what I mean? You want this guy to go and fight a war and he doesn't fucking know what happened.
I know.
You want this guy to come, bare arms
against
this group.
What?
And you won't even tell him what happened to his wife. Oh, she's gone.
Yeah, but Strand's acting all smug. He's like, oh, well, that's you going to be joining our team. It wasn't that Strand when your wee fucking bum boy was lying with his silky blue pyjamas in his mum's bed. You were crying then, weren't you? What about when you get stabbed?
Madison!
You know what I mean? Come on, you probably wanted stabbed by Cole earlier.
Strand's an okay character, but I'll just never...
There's flaws in him.
Yeah. He'll never be a great character to me.
Morgan and John stay behind. Everyone else leaves in the SWAT van. That's your end of the episode, right? That was painful. I didn't like it. I just don't like the cat. Like, look, see, like Luciana, right? Alicia and not Morgan, Strand. Like, you know, is that the three people that's going to issue war on the vultures and win?
No, not for me.
Just a band of misfits, man. Honestly,
I never felt like Fear the Walking Dead had the strongest cast ever. But we seem to always lose the best members.
Morgan though, right? He does not feel like the star. Like the monster among men, right? The star among jobbers. He just feels like another guy.
Yeah, if Rick Grimes was in this show, he'd feel...
See if Morgan, right, get bit, and at the end of the episode they just shot him, and he was forgotten about in episode 5, I'd be like, oh well.
I'd be celebrating.
No, you'd be celebrating, but the guy on it, like, see this, does Morgan feel like a bigger character than Strand? Two black guys, just compare them.
No.
Honestly, no.
Wait, who did they introduce in season 3 that made it to season 4? It almost feels like season 3 was a waste of time.
Yep.
No, like, who did they?
No one. Just us. I can't remember.
No one that they introduced in season 3 made it out.
No.
I don't get it. And since then, we've lost Nick and Travis.
Yeah.
Show's going downhill, cast is going downhill. Anyway, time to rate this episode.
It just reminds me of like Lost, where they've just got so many flashbacks, and it's not that it doesn't make any sense. Like I get the picture they're trying to paint. It's just not painting a very good one.
I'm going to get a 4 out of 10. But it was, some of the flashback scenes weren't necessarily bad, but it was just too much flashback.
Yeah, I'll give you a 4 out of 10 as well. 4 for episode 4 of season 4. Can you dig that, sucker?